Welcome to the CFG Game Cast, episode number 280, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers that like to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode every week and release it on all podcast services, so do us a favor and show us some love by liking, following, commenting, or subscribing on our Twitch, on our Twitch, twitch.tv/CFG Games, or on our YouTube at the CFG, or go to our main website, freaksandgeeks.com, to not miss an episode. I am Mr. CFG Games himself, Davis Green, and with me today, I got my two awesome co-hosts. I got the 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty in the third seat. What's going on, my dude?
It's been busy, like you said. A lot of video game news has been going down. Scorp Kitty is still recovering. My world has been absolutely nuts. I got a promotion at work as well, so trying to juggle that, juggle the kids. We got the Bitrix review came out. Again, I've been loving just playing with the controller and stuff like that. So got some Black Ops 7 in. We got it streaming finally after a month of not streaming. Shame on me again. You know, I'm officially saying I'm not gonna set up like I'm just gonna stop saying that I'm a streamer.
You're done.
I don't know I am. I do things and stuff. But I don't know that I consistently stream enough to be able to call myself a streamer anymore. So,
well, not right now.
I don't know. We'll see what happens, huh?
Not right now, but maybe in the near future. You know, when things kind of settle down.
We'll try it. Is it? I keep saying that. I've been saying that for like 5 years now, and it has not settled down. If anything, it's only ramped up.
Yeah, that is true. True.
But again, we are enjoying games. There's a oh my goodness, I'm totally spacing on it. It's called Timeless. Something dragon something, but I'm working on a review for it. I'm just spacing on the name.
You just
it's
made
an
RPG.
That cool, whatever it is.
You just made that
whatever
up.
is fantastic. I promise you, it's a real game.
It's like time, dragons.
That's
something.
cool. I like time travel. I like dragons.
There you go.
It's fantastic.
Time crisis with dragons.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Exactly.
Time crisis.
But other than that, the trying to get some Borderlands 4 in, getting some Black Ops 7 in a little bit as well. Just staying busy. It's been busy is also good too. So things have been good and on my end. But again, there's somebody much more interesting than me. What about you, Virginia? How has your week been? How have you been?
Well, before you go, before we should introduce her, who she is. So, because like as you can tell, she isn't Pop, but she is editor for another website called Dexerto, right? Am I right? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Dexerto.com. She's editor of one of the awesome editors there, also a giant Street Fighter fighting game enthusiast, and also a very cool cosplayer. I'd like to welcome Virginia Glaze to the show. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thank y'all for having me. I'm really excited. Similar, I've also been really busy. I went to a special screening of the new season of Uma Musume. Well, the second part of the season yesterday, and it was really fun. The energy was very addictive. People were cosplaying. It was very cute. I don't really know that much about the horse girls, but I thought it was fun. So
you're like, I don't know what's going on here, but exactly. I like the energy.
Is it like, an anime?
Yeah.
So it's
an anime. It's a gacha.
That was made into an anime.
Yeah, it was a gacha game for the longest of time, and apparently there's a giant like lore story of it.
Like every horse is based off a real racehorse. In real life.
It's like a personification of like each of those horses are now humans, but they still have horse features, like they still have like horse ears and tails and stuff.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, but
it's interesting.
It's very fun, but dude, like every person that I've gotten interested in, like half the people, it's kind of funny. There's this one rep for Sega is hooked on this game, and it's like, and he always just all
people
his posts
love
are
it.
about it.
I guess
it's
I should
insane.
start playing it, but I don't want to get like sucked in.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I'm scared now.
I see people on Twitch playing it. I see like the clips, and they're just going ape, and I'm like, oh man.
It's a money sink. Keep that in mind too.
It really is.
It's a gacha system, so keep that in mind. Yeah, but no, that's cool. But anyways, like, how are you doing? Like, I know you, like you said, you were doing, you did a lot of stuff. Like, I was talking about Street Fighter. what so far you said that your first was Ultra Street Fighter 4.
Yes.
Which one would you say is your least favorite, or no, not your least, I'm sorry, your favorite Street Fighter so far?
Oh, geez. I mean, I'm gonna have to go. This is gonna get me flamed. I really like Street
Really?
Fighter 5 because it was like the game that really got me into the scene. I have a lot of history with that
Yeah.
game.
Mm-hmm.
I felt really competent when I played that game, but also just like it was kind of the thing that started my career. When Street Fighter 5 came out, I started writing about Street Fighter esports and then started writing for Red Bull and then Capcom esports. And then I did a little writing for Tekken and the Dragon Ball Fighters World Tour. So it was just kind of the thing that sparked everything. But after that, I would have to say Ultra Street Fighter 4. I love that game. It's so much fun.
Yes. So you're probably hyped about seeing C Viper coming into the mix.
Oh, absolutely. She looks amazing. Like
yeah.
Angelina Jolie with a braid. Come on.
Right?
Oh, they
That
really
is
did
funny.
her correct.
They really did.
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Welcome, Virginia. I know we got a lot to talk about for obvious reasons for what's coming up here. But as for me, I finally came back. I was away last week. I was on a cruise, went to the Bahamas, and did my very first Disney cruise period, which was amazing. I would have to say, like,
Yes.
I'm not a big Disney person, but like they know how to do service. I will say that they definitely know how to do service. But when I got back, I was just been playing a lot of the Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra a lot, the MOBA game. I'm just hooked on that game, dude. I've already clocked.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
It's so much fun, but incredibly aggravating because some of the people that you play, you just want to be like, just want to just ring them, you know? It's so.
It's a good thing that there isn't voice chat, or maybe there is. I don't know, but
you need to.
It would be toxic.
Lord.
It would be toxic.
No, they need to. It is already incredibly toxic. But there's no, like, you have, like, every time when you see people streaming it and you just see people's angers and frustration because some of these people just like, oh my God, it is funny on some people how they melt down. So yeah, but
I believe it. No, you just gotta take it in stride, dude.
Yeah. So then I also picked up, it's funny. So then also the Steam autumn sale is happening, and I've been good though so far. I did pick up one game because there was a game that people put on my list that they said I need to play because they loved me crashing out on Final Fantasy 13 because because people know how much my hatred is for that game. That when I played it and beat it. They were like saying, okay, you need to play the second one because the second one's the good one. And I'm like, well, I mean, if it's a pile of crap or just a pile of crap to this, I mean, anything can be better than that, you know? So it was on sale for $5. So I just said, okay, I'll just buy it for $5.
It will for pain.
Yeah, it will hold me responsible to beat that game finally, you know, or have a reason since I beat the first one 2 years ago. You just you do not want to see me crash outs. My anger for that game was so bad. It was on.
I remember watching
too.
it. It was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. From a spectator standpoint, it was hilarious.
It's like, why is this guy like going red in the face? And I was like, I don't know. It's just what it is. What it is. But anyways, I know y'all don't want to see me crash out on this about these upcoming topics. So let's go through the normal rigmarole that we like to do each and every week. So each of us chooses a topic of discussion in the world of video games that happened in the previous week. The topic would or could be a game itself or something that happened in the gaming industry, and we do not want to talk about it amongst ourselves. We want you, the listeners and viewers on Twitch, on twitch.tv/CFG Games, and on YouTube at the CFG to be a part of the conversation as always. So if there is something that you want to chime in, if you're wanting to get your opinion out or just wanting to see what we think about your opinion, by all means, type it inside the chat. We will talk with you and go from there. So this is going to be a little bit different because I think, like I was telling Smitty prior, that I don't think there was a no contest of what we're going to talk about because this week was wild of just information of just different. I mean, and all of the information was bad. It was like I don't even know. Like, there's no sugarcoating it. It was just so crazy of a week. We haven't had one of these kind of weeks in a while. So, but this one was just like a just terrible thing day after day, something else coming out. So I think we'll just go with the most biggest one, which is Xbox. And it's kind of funny. Well, it's not really funny because but it's kind of interesting on the whole thing. So long story short, if you don't know what's going on, Xbox decided to officially increase their prices for their Xbox Game Pass. Now they went all around the board on this one. Their cheapest one, I think it was their Essentials plan, is now has gone up to what, $13.99 or $14.99? I can't remember, but like, can you check it up? I just lost.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
Yeah, so the lowest brand has gone up, but the one that most people have been focusing on was the Ultimate Pass, because the Ultimate Pass is the one that allows you to do day one releases, all the other ones and stuff like that. So the Ultimate went from $20, from $19.99 to $30 in literally less than 24 hours for this. Now, there is a slight thing that you could do, which is go do the PC version, just the PC side, which is which was increased from I believe it was $11.99 to $16.99. Is that will still give you day one passes, but specifically just for PC. But
Essentials 10.
Oh, Essentials 10 now.
So,
okay.
Yeah, it went from $7.99 to $9.99.
Okay, so $7.99 to $9.99, and then the premium, the mid one is now $15.99. $15.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So $15, and then the Ultimate was $30. Okay, thank you. So because of this, I mean, everyone social media wise, I can't say everyone, but a lot of people said this isn't worth it anymore, as well as they shouldn't have been. As well as I totally agree with it. It never has, to my opinion. But so mass exodus of a lot of different things has been going on in the past several days. When this was initially announced, there were so many people that were wanting to cancel their services that their website for their cancellation shut down. Like they had it stopped working. And loading up correctly, and just a lot of different, just the whole demeanor of all of this seems very, very muted on the side of Xbox, on Microsoft's side. So there's a lot that kind of wanting to talk about. I just kind of want to go in the round and what y'all's like reactions were when this announcement came out. Like, what did y'all think about it?
Go ahead, Virginia.
Oh goodness. I mean, I'm not much of an Xbox person. I am a PlayStation girl all day. But I do think like the amount of money that they increased it to, like lickety split, was really shady. But it kind of ties into like the growing sort of like nickel and diming of the industry and just like everything in general. Like you're getting charged for every little thing now. And things just keep becoming pricier and pricier. Like games are getting more expensive, but they're also more expensive to make. So, where does that cost go to? Mm-hmm. I also feel like, Microsoft is not really in everyone's good graces. And especially with this happening, it doesn't look good for their image, in my opinion. It was definitely shocking though, because as far as I knew, Game Pass was great. And it was like one of the best things about having like an Xbox is like, oh yeah, you can get all these games. And if you just pay for, Game Pass, and now it's like, oh, I don't know if I want to spend $30 every month,
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, Smitty, if anyone has been like for years, has been the component of.
They lost me, brother.
Of Xbox. He's for years. It's like this guy has been like rah rah siskumbah with Xbox, this kind of thing. And I never saw it. But what do you think, Smitty?
And let me explain myself. Again, this is coming from somebody that has never owned an Xbox. To be able to have the ability to use Game Pass and to play Xbox exclusives, which is really no longer a thing now, as we see this integration of games going over and less exclusivity. This, I was on board. I was like, I think I see what their vision is. Like, hey, everybody games, you can play everywhere. We just want to get you into the ecosystem. But $30 a month, that's what, $360 a year or something like that? Mm-hmm. You're just pricing people out. Yeah. But here's the thing. On the heels of this, though, there's also rumblings of this ad-supported
I saw that, and I could not believe it. You get 5 hours total.
Yeah.
Like
wait,
what?
I haven't even.
Okay. Yeah, I was actually going to kind of lean into this. I'm glad you mentioned this. So what they're doing, what Xbox is proposing to do, is so their push is now starting to be clear as day of what they're wanting to do. So their big thing is that they're wanting to do cloud gaming. Their push is going to be cloud gaming. They don't want to use a physical system or anything anymore. So their push is that they're trying to find ways for people to be introduced into their ecosystem by allowing people to get into their gaming into that world for free to test it out. Well, not necessarily to test it out, but to say that there is a free tier for people to play it. So what they are proposing, actually, I pretty much as well say they will, because I think that's the path that they're going to take, is that they're going to be announcing a free tier for cloud gaming, Xbox of cloud gaming. But to do that, it's going to be a 2 minute pre-ad. For now, mind you, this is a pre-ad for 2 minutes for you to go to look at the ad before you're able to play. But then you have a limit of 5 hours. For I believe, is it the month? I believe it's 5 hours in the month, or 5 hours in the month.
5 hours in a month?
I'm pretty sure.
For the free, for the free tier. That's what that's from how I'm reading it. I might be wrong, but
That's insane.
So they're doing it. But okay, so here's my problem. First off, this is actually kind of funny because, like, in my opinion, with all of this, you already knew where I'm going to go with this, because I've been saying this for years.
You've been saying it. You called it.
Years I've been saying it for years. So I was
it was inevitable.
And here's the funniest thing about this, because Smitty set me up. We went to PAX West, right? This is a stupid story, but we went to PAX West. We went to the Polish party. I see Smitty talking to some random guy. Yeah, I know the name of it. It's kind of weird. I went to a random guy. Like, I see Smitty talking to a random guy. And then he starts talking about Xbox Game Pass to this guy. And then I got into it. I know I don't think I was asked about it, but then I kind of interjected. I was like, I don't know if I trust the Xbox Game Pass. And I gave him my reasons. And once again, when people talk about Xbox Game Pass to me, I'll be like, I'm just going to call it out. And then I do. I talked to this guy about it, about the negativity and me not trusting it. This guy comes out and turns out to be he's one of the lawyers for Xbox himself directly. Yeah.
Oh,
and then
boy.
Smitty just sat there looking at it as if didn't tell me what he did or nothing. And I'm just like, gave him but my point was, the point stands, exactly what I was worried about. I told the guy exactly what was going to happen.
Yes.
And then this was a month ago. But I think what pisses me off is the fact. Yeah, I know. Nosferatu.
Or not Nosferatu, Nostradamus. What am I talking about? Whoops.
I
They're
am a
very similar.
vampire. Yes, they are the same person. Yeah, so here's the thing that, what really pisses me off is that Microsoft's digged themselves in a hole. Sarah Bond, 2 weeks ago, prior to all of this, was said in a call that Xbox Game Pass was profitable. It was generating a record $5 billion in revenue in the previous fiscal year. And so basically, you're going by what the numbers were showing or what they were giving that's currently been going on. Then in 2 weeks later, they decided to jack the price up the way that they did. So now you're in a position where it's going to look like one of two things, and they're both bad. One, Sarah Bond is lying to us, which is basically saying that, okay, so we don't know what is really happening on Game Pass on the back end side. Or two, Microsoft is incredibly greedy that they don't give a shit about their fan base.
I feel like probably what happened was they were like, oh, this is doing so well for us. We can make even more money if we charge even more.
Right.
I think that's probably what happened.
Yeah, but I still don't think the math really maths. I mean, is it kind of weird? Because when you think about the money that, for instance, what Call of Duty puts in when you had to buy the game, buy the maps, buy the DLC, all the different kinds of stuff, the game itself is $70. And then now you traded that over to a monthly premium thing for $20 a month. It doesn't matter. What did they projected? Call of Duty Black Ops 6 cost $700 million to make.
Yes.
And then you're telling me that that, I mean, just that block alone, out of that and the hundreds of games that are on Game Pass, and then you're saying that one with that one game at $20 a month is going to get their money back from all of that is just doesn't make sense to me. Is all that? Yeah. So I think with all of this with these kind of things and these kind of statements, I was like, okay, I was just waiting for when something's got to give, and now that Black Ops 7 is coming out. It's probably just as expensive as what 6 would cost. And this is one of the many other studios that are running AAA. Then on top of that, the massive amount of cancellations of games that they've already did announce on canceling the games just to keep up and save the money. Like, I don't know if we may be seeing like how Microsoft, I don't see how Microsoft is going to be like, going to be giving back good faith to the people, and if the people are going to trust them at this point,
And hear me out. Here's where I see this kind of being also a positive. And we're seeing it a lot, especially with these AAA companies and whatnot. They're being run essentially by corpos. And corpos is the I feel, of the gaming culture. And the gaming culture and gamers themselves are going to speak with their dollars. Not only that, but the economy in general is rough around the world. So people are a lot more stingy about where they're going to be spending their dollars for entertainment, for these luxury items such as gaming. These big companies are now pricing out your common people. I think this puts the spotlight even more on indie games and AA studios to be able to sneak in and really grab some of that share of gamers, not only with making good games, but being able to get that loyalty factor. Because the loyalty to these big companies from gamers is waning more and more. And it's not even by the year, it's by the week at this point, because they're dropping all these crazy, all these crazy price increases and this and that. People are like, nah, dude, I'm out. So I think this could be a good opportunity for smaller studios.
Well, you're so right, because Silksong, had a incredibly low price point. And it was such a good game. Everyone, bought it and was loving it. I mean, it was hard, but people love it. I think, to your point, right? Like, these small indie studios it's right for the taking. I mean, Expedition 33, small team, they're Game of the Year contender. So I definitely think we're going to be seeing more of that.
Yeah. Probably is Expedition 33 is a Microsoft-owned company.
But still, small team.
Right.
That is true. But I think I'm more worried about is that it's going to be the vacuum. It's going to I think what's going to be the next step is going to be the vacuum, because I think what really screwed Microsoft is that acquisition to Activision Blizzard, because like the amount of money because originally Microsoft and Xbox were working autonomously on their own different sides. But then the amount of money that they got to buy all these different kinds of companies and studios out to be under the Xbox brand is now to a point where they're saying, hey, you need to make more money. We need more money coming in from all of these investments that you're giving us, and they're just not doing it. I mean, I just don't see like how like the quote unquote features that they're doing with this $30 increase to justify it is just bullcrap. You lost more when you really think about it, because originally, like, if you were an Ultimate Game Pass holder, you got 10% discount for DLC content and things like that. That's removed, and not fully removed, but most things are now removed from that deal. You can't use your points anymore for your monthlies for your Game Pass things as well. And the things that they're giving you is, you can get Ubisoft Plus Classics. And like, who the hell plays like Ubisoft? Like to do that, when you can easily just go out and buy freaking those games for like under $5, and it just doesn't, like, none of this adds up. And then plus the upcoming Allied ROG X that's coming out. The game is not going. What were we gonna say, Virginia?
Oh, I was also talking about thinking about the Xbox handheld thing. That's like $1,000 or some such. I was speaking to my coworker about it. He got to review it. I don't know if our review has gone live, so I won't say too much. But like, if you are a Windows PC gamer, apparently that's like the best thing since sliced bread, and it's better than the Steam Deck. But I'm like, $1,000? I don't know. I don't know about that. It's just everything's getting so expensive. It feels so like overwhelming.
You know what's funny though? It's like, it could be the best thing since sliced bread, but now the problem is, like, if you can't afford that, then and then your deal is going to be, because like right now you can get a Steam Deck for $249. For the lowest one for $249, but you're paying $1,000 on your top brand, and then I think the low brand is $700.
It's still so expensive,
I believe.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and then what's even worse to me about that is the fact that that game system requires you to be on like 100% online. Like it's cloud based. It's nothing
Yeah.
stored. Nothing is stored on that system.
Mm.
So that alone rules me out on it. For me, period. I would just be like, a hard drive would be fine enough, but you can tell me you don't even have that is crazy.
Yeah, Tony says, even Switch 2 increase, I hardly play my original one. Why am I going to spend more with a system that's not going to get hardly played because I got to wait for certain games? I agree with you 100%, Tony. That's kind of how I was. I did end up getting a Switch 2, but I wasn't like, oh, I have to have this. You know, there was nothing. And again, I'm a huge Mario Kart fan. So that to me, that literally was like, if they have a new Mario Kart, I'm in. I'm getting it. I'm good. But really, there's not been a ton of games for the system. Again, it's a newer console, so they're still building up the library and stuff like that. And there is no real reason, I feel like, for people to make the move if you already have a Switch 1. You know what I mean? So yeah, you're absolutely right. Well, like if you're good, like I don't.
My beef on that is that they need to give physical copies on that stupid system, because that drives me insane that I'm not doing Game Pass game key cards. That's ridiculous.
No.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like the move toward like we don't have a disk drive anymore is like depressing to me. And it's not just because like I'm grew up with like DVDs and CDs and like the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. It was like you have a disc. That's what it is. You put the disc and the thing in a place. It just feels like I want to own what I buy. And if I can't like own it physically, then I feel like I don't own it, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. No, it makes a lot of sense, because that's exactly why I like for instance, I want to get Final Fantasy Tactics. I wanted to get it on the Switch too, but it's going to be a game key card. I do not want digital. I want games on disc, period. That's just my thing. I do not fold off of that. So there are certain games I'm fine with digital, but games like that, especially RPGs and things, I gotta have them physical. Like there's no other ways.
I wanted to see real quick what your guys' thoughts were on like GameStop continuing to sell their Ultimate for $20. I know there's been some other ones, Walmart, Target, but theirs wasn't like they just haven't made the change. But like GameStop went out of their way to say, yo, we're not going to increase our price, talking about people taking advantage of these dumb boneheaded moves that they're making. I just wanted to see what your guys' thoughts were on that.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I think it's just they have storage of all the stuff that they've already bought it. So so if you increase the price of something that you've already bought at $10, it's just bad. Like so I just think that they're just going to keep with what they got, and then until that sells out. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I think GameStop has been on the key on these increases, except that one day when they did with the Nintendo Switch increase, and then they're like, hey, we're going to give you a little bit of a bonus, but that bonus was like, it was there for like 2 days or something. Like, remember? It was like a coupon. Yeah, we like Pop said something to us about it, and I was like, what? They did an increase? And it's like, oh yeah, if you still turn it in, you'll still have the same value. They increased the value up by like $50 or something. And I was like, oh, really? Then I looked at the fine print. It was only good for like 2 days, and then they were going to bring it back to regular. I was like, this is stupid.
Gotcha, sucker.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, that was strategic.
It was very strategic.
Yeah.
It was very strategic. But I mean, it's good for GameStop. They're smart about it. I mean, look at what Costco and look at what Sam's Club did. Not saying that Sam's was a big issue. Costco said it's just not. We're not going to get any money on this stuff, so they scrapped it. They don't carry it anymore. Sam's Club, they're discounting. They're discounting the systems to as low as $250 for some of these systems. So they don't want Xbox. They don't want them. They want out. Yeah. And I just think that, and who would blame them at this point, So it's just that they now know that what the path that they're going, because we know Microsoft's path isn't the gaming side, it's AI. And their biggest focus is that they're trying to get their biggest investments towards AI. So what they're looking for, I think, when they're seeing how much money that they invested on the gaming sector of this, and then they're doing all these different kinds of weird things, like, I will not be surprised if we're going to be seeing an incredible change of how Microsoft's ecosystem is going to be. To now, I am dead surprised that Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer has a job. I mean, I really do. I don't even and what the other one, Matt Booney, I forgot his name. Yeah, yeah, perfect porno name.
Don't
but
laugh.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, I'm just saying that like it just like I don't see like whatever the vision that Phil Spencer had, it was perverse ever since this acquisition happened with Activision Blizzard, and I don't think we'll ever see like Xbox isn't. I don't know if Xbox. It's hard to say because I mean Microsoft is just it has an infinite amount of money. They're classified as $5.something trillion. So we don't know like what they're going to do, but the amount of money that they're going to do with this brand. I don't know, but like I wanted Microsoft to be successful because I think us as a gamer, if we have competition, clean, healthy competition towards other for the opposite sides, everyone will win. But I don't know if this is the competition that we're going to be looking at with Microsoft in this future. Yeah. Yep. So there you go. Yeah. All right. So wait, what did you say, Tony? I'll say, yeah, I don't like that you have to use online to play a game like Virginia said. I want my physical game. I want to play it without have to be online and knowing I own it, and they aren't going to take back because it's under their cloud. That's my biggest number one fear of everything. Yeah. I mean, like they did it. Remember they were I forgot who made it, but the crew got sued. I think it was Ubisoft. Ubisoft got sued because of that, because they totally removed it off of their cloud, their server side. For people that bought it.
It just came back out.
Yeah.
It just actually came back out. There were people that worked on it to bring it back.
Oh, really?
Good for them, man.
Yeah, so it's
Ubisoft hasn't done anything about it.
I'm just like, if I worked on that game, I would be so sad that happened.
Yeah.
No
like
kidding.
Regardless of, sales or how it was received, it's like, man, that's something I worked on. Like, what the heck?
I know, right? I mean, yeah, so we'll see. And I mean, I won't feel sorry for the folks that have a full digital library because they went all in on Game Pass, but at the same time, it's like, guys, now you're like stuck to it, so you don't lose everything from it, so but anyways, Microsoft, get your shit together, please. It's just,
what are you doing?
Yeah, I know, right?
TLDR.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
Shit together.
It's like, what the hell, man? I mean, I never. Okay, so like Smitty can attest to this. I never bit on the Game Pass train. So
you didn't. You've always pushed back on it.
Yeah, so I will never. I'm good, but I just don't know what's going to happen. Like now, I just don't feel like their future isn't in sight. And then as Black Ops 7 came out, I don't see the hype on 7 as much as I've seen for the other ones. Like just the normal hype for it. It doesn't seem like it's there at all.
There is the big thing about Call of Duty in general is that there's a cheater problem. A big cheater problem.
Oh, well, didn't the beta happen recently and it was already like a ton of cheaters?
Yeah.
I'm like, how? It just came out. What?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they'll have the stuff in place for when the actual game releases.
It just makes it so unfun for everyone. Like
it really does.
I don't have the answers for that whatsoever, but I imagine I'd be feeling a lot of pressure as like a developer or as the company if that was like the state of my game. Because I know,
I do have a question though. Like when it comes to cheaters like that, like why is it infested? Like a game like that is infested with cheaters, but is like Fortnite or any of these other ones that are, I mean, they're not similar games, but they're massively online for like first person and third party shooters and stuff. Like why do we not hear about that for other games? Is it a matter of like, I mean, I know you can't really talk for the company, but is it just a matter of accessibility? It's a lot easier for one than it is than the other. Why is Call of Duty so riddled with it, with cheaters?
Like, I think a lot of it boils down to money and how they can make money. So you have these people that are putting out these crazy clips. They end up getting sponsorship deals or whatever. But again, they're getting invited to these events and stuff like that. But, it's all built off of them using cheats and stuff like that. So the skill's not really there. But, I think is a lot more prevalent in that scene because of the amount of money that people are putting into the influencers and stuff like that. Okay. At least that's, again, that's just me speculating. But that's kind of the way that I've figured why you hear about it so much in Call of Duty specifically.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I also think like maybe that community is a bit more vocal on social media about it. Like think about like the kinds of people who would probably be playing, Call of Duty versus like Fortnite, right? If you're like, a kid playing Fortnite, whatever, you're just hanging around. But I don't know if it's like a gaming demographic thing or if it's just like this is a more vocal scene than the people who play Fortnite. Because I'm sure there's cheaters in Fortnite too. So it's really interesting.
Facts.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Okay. So we'll move on. Excuse me. Yeah, we'll move on. And actually, you know what? I was going to kind of introduce this one, but I kind of think you would have a better feel of this than I do, Virginia, about the next topic. So what the hell's going on with Capcom?
So I do have some insight onto the directorial side of the game about this, but essentially for this year's Capcom Cup, so Capcom Cup 2020, it's taking place in 2026. Capcom Cup 12 is going to be pay-per-view, which is kind of an unheard of situation within the fighting game community, at least. I have never had to pay to watch a Capcom Cup in my life.
No, we should.
Yeah. Now, from what there's 3 different tiers. I'm looking at the image right now. So you can watch the Street Fighter League World Cup finals for 4,000 yen, which I think is probably around. It's less than $40 USD.
Yeah, $30.
Yes, you can watch the Capcom Cup finals for the same price, or you can watch them bundled for 6,000 yen, which is $50, I would imagine, which is damn near the price of the base game when you buy it
right
in the store.
It's a season DLC. That's what that is.
It is. Yeah. So understandably, a lot of the FGC was taken aback by this. Now, from what I understand, I think SFL Japan has been pay-per-view before. So that isn't new in itself. But whenever you're making Capcom Cup paid walled, that's like, okay, now you're, and also I think a lot of people were concerned about like the lack of a storyline this year amongst a lot of the competitors. There's not really a whole lot of like, crazy stuff that's been happening. And also this also ties into people's complaints about the Capcom Pro Tour, especially how it's been since the pandemic. And the release of Street Fighter 6. I remember it was a lot of online tournaments, like hardly any, in real life premieres. And now we have more premieres, which is great. I think that's good. I think we should have more in-person tournaments. They're working toward that, and I think World Warrior is great, but the entire point of the fighting game community is like community, right? Like we need to be there together at these tournaments, compete, see each other, grow closer as a community. And so when there's less of that, it makes it a little bit, it doesn't feel as authentic. So I obviously the CPT in Street Fighter V's lifetime was flawed in its own ways, but I do think like if you just had more onlines, I think that'd be fine. People compete and you get points for competing in these things depending on where you place. So the more you compete, the more points you get. And then, hey, maybe you can qualify or you can go to the LCQ. I heard that there isn't an LCQ this year for Capcom Cup, which is kind of crazy. So just with all of that said, putting the final tournament of the year behind a paywall for like everyone is, like you should still be able to get in-person tickets, right? Obviously there's advertisers and sponsors, but it feels very a slap in the face to the community. And I think that's how a lot of people are feeling. And we also have Nakayama's comments on Twitter about it, who basically was as surprised as everyone else.
Yeah.
He was like, whoa, this is news to me. I didn't know about this. These are 2 completely different teams. So like the development team for Street Fighter 6 is a completely different entity than Street Fighter 6 esports. And apparently they don't talk to each other very much, given what we know, which is kind of a shame. And, I am in like the media, you kind of hear things, but Matsumoto-san has been very stressed out about this. He does not feel super great about it. He feels very under pressure. And you can tell that like they really want to do right by the FGC. I mean, Nakayama's talking about it even at the risk of like getting yelled at, by his superiors, being transparent. So, and like I've really been proud of the direction that they've taken Street Fighter, especially like after Street Fighter V's very messy launch and, initial reception. So I do think that they want the best for the community. It's more so that separate esports department is doing things that are way different. And I think in Japan, Street Fighter 6 is extremely popular as an esport. Like it's huge.
It's wildly crazy.
Yeah. So that in Japan, it makes sense why they would be like, oh, let's do it pay-per-view. Maybe that will incentivize more people to pay for it, to watch it, you know, in Japan. But a lot of people have been commenting, oh, that feels a bit premature. Like we're not there yet on a worldwide scale because the
Mhm.
FGC isn't just Japan, it's everywhere, right? Like everyone plays fighting games. And to sort of region lock that behind, a paywall, it doesn't feel very good. So that's what's been happening. And my take on it is, proceed with caution, right? Like I'm hopeful that things will change. I really hope that they don't paywall at least Capcom Cup, like Street Fighter League. I could see that, they've done it before apparently, but and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they have done that for the Street Fighter League Japan. I could be wrong. But like just Capcom Cup, like making that, like I understand if you want to like be there in person, yes, tickets, charge them for tickets, that makes sense.
Mhm.
But like the stream, like I gotta pay to watch an esports,
Right.
what? Like literally every other esports, as far as I know, you can just watch it on Twitch. And like if you're
But it
there,
doesn't even make any sense at all because like
no.
theoretically what like with Capcom Cup's final, okay, so like what's weird is that well SFL's always been that way in a way.
Mm,
So in a way it's not out of the ordinary for them to kind of stretch a little bit more for what they're
yeah.
already currently getting. But the
Yeah.
fact that an official Capcom's final that Capcom owns, and specifically the I think it's the top eight, the final eight, but
Yeah.
the stuff prior to that is goes to the LGC. It's like locals, it's other people that are running it, and all these different kinds of things. It's like if you're gonna do that, you need to take all of it, not
Mhm.
just the finals itself. In a sense, it's like now it makes it look like you're just squeezing the accessibility for everybody that is interested in this, but this, and let alone saying charging $40 to $50 for it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Uh, uh, at a in a global area. Of course, people are going to say no because they'll be like, dude, we've been seeing this free for over like what 10-15 years. Is like it's crazy. It's like you're out of your freaking mind, it's
It's
just
also
it.
just like going with like the community based aspect. FGC is so community centric, right?
Mhm.
Like people like go to the local and watch it, right? Go to the friend's house and like watch it all all together on stream, or you go there, right? It's such a community based thing that it does feel pretty bad to like then, oh, but you have to pay to see it, right? Like that just
Mhm.
doesn't feel very community focused to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it definitely absolutely isn't. But I think like, and yeah, like you're saying, you got to give credit to the development
Hmm.
team of Nakayama-san and them, because you're right. It's not. It's just, but it's weird because this isn't new when it comes to Japanese, like people, not the Japanese industry is not talking to each other one to another. They
I
don't
think it
communicate very
happens at
well.
every company.
Happens
Like
all
there's
the
definitely,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, but this one is just the most egregious because, like, what's weird is that Nakayama was essentially, I would say, Nakayama is the savior of Street Fighter Five because when Five came in, like you said, Five had a horrible start. Then
Mhm.
when he switched over, then the DLC content, he basically got the yes for everything that he was going to do for that, and then to make it successful, they were doing things like special SFL skins and things like that
Yes, that was so
that would
cute.
incentivize it.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
but to
a
say that
lot of
in
people have
oh
been saying
yeah,
that they should go back to that model. And I agree because they're all like, I would buy it. Why
yeah,
not?
people would buy that because they're
Yeah.
getting something out of that. And then, but
Mhm.
then to say that they never had that conversation in six is
Yeah.
unbelievable to me. Like
Yeah.
the
I
biggest,
also, yeah.
oh, no, I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
go ahead.
I was gonna say the biggest issue with six right now is that they are so stingy with skins, and I don't know why
Mhm.
they are so stingy with it. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, so like it would be easy to get your money cooped up to say a $5 to $10 skin or whatever for
Yeah.
for this DLC. You're going to get your money. You're going to get all these different kinds of stuff. You're still going to let people be watching the game that they've been wanting that they've been openly watching for forever for free, and
Mhm.
you don't. I just don't see it. I don't see how that wasn't even in the cards in the first place. But I'm sorry, what were you gonna
Yeah.
say?
I definitely think some things internally changed on the release of Street Fighter 6, but also I do think like the model had to change to accommodate for the
The
pandemic.
size.
And
Oh yeah.
I do think that that kind of changed a lot of things. And of course, with Street Fighter 6 being super popular in Japan, they're probably thinking this is a good business decision just from like the home turf standpoint. But I don't know if that's going to translate well to the rest of the scene. And I think fighting games are so unique in
Hmm.
how we engage with the product that this ultimately will be hurt. Like it will hurt them. Like there's definitely ways to get around, losses financially for this, right? Like esports is really difficult to make money.
Hmm.
It doesn't it like it's kind of a money sink, but as you said, and a lot of, the conversation has been, why don't you just sell skins, sell things to support CPT, and then also you get the advertisement for it in game so people know it's happening, and
Hmm.
they know to watch it, they know where to
Right.
watch it, they know when it's happening. So I definitely think that is the solve, but obviously I'm not in the industry like that, and
Hmm.
I'm not working at Capcom, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
We're, we're just
You guys
stupid
think this
interest.
is a could potentially also be a pivot move on pay-per-views part, since the UFC is going over to, was it Netflix, I think?
Yeah.
So like what is going to be on pay-per-view if fights aren't going to be on there any longer? I think
Yeah.
maybe is boxing on there? Like, are they looking for a new avenue to be able to generate, because otherwise I think pay-per-view just dies, right?
Mm.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, see, I mean, UFC can get away with it because UFC has been doing it this way for a
Mhm.
long period of time, like with pay-per-views and stuff forever. If anything, pay-per-view is slowly, yeah, pay-per-view has been slowly dying for a long time when it comes to this stuff now, since these crazy conglomerates like Netflix and stuff are now starting to be like, yeah, we just need the views, and then that's what we're satisfied with, not paying the $60 or the $60 for one person to do a pay-per-view party. But
Mm-hmm.
I can understand it for that model because it would work, but I don't know if we're there yet, let alone for FGC to be there
Yeah.
yet as a
I don't think we
global.
are.
Yeah,
No.
No.
no, I don't think we're nowhere near, because like, you
No.
know what, and here's why I would even think that even in the first place. Look at Evo. Evo is like the number one fighting game tournament in the world. It really is.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, it may not be the hardest one because that's where Japan's most of their tournaments in Japan are insane, but it is the most prestigious one for Vegas in its sense. The amount of money that you get for number one in Street Fighter is so egregiously low that it would be like, comparatively to any
What?
other esports, it's probably like okay, so last year Punk, I think, was mad because he only got, I think it was 15,000, but it was wrong. It was supposed to be about 25 to 30. That was it.
Mhm.
Ooh,
Yeah, so comparatively, as opposed to see
wow.
so many other ones like even Call of Duty, all these other big brands are getting over like millions of dollars, like
Yeah.
League of Legends and stuff like that. Even like a split of a team of 5, you're still getting maybe 10 times more than what you would get for an FGC tournament. So we are incredible. Like, even though we're allowed on the like in social media and stuff, we are relatively small when it comes to esports.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
like,
Right.
and I don't think that like, and for, I mean, I'm just a stupid, like, editor, small, like website stuff like that, so I don't know what they're doing, but I'm pretty sure there's a ton of smarter people out there to say that they're going to weigh the costs for them to say that, okay, you know what, this is going to be catering, it feels like it's being catered more for the Japanese crowd, especially when they're dishing
It
out.
does.
Yeah, and let alone that they're putting these prices in Japanese and Japanese yen and stuff, and
Right.
they're saying they're making it local, but they haven't even thought about everyone else that plays, even though the champion in the past 3 years has not been in Japan. Even regardless,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's funny to me that like that they're this close-minded off to be like, okay, the risk is we're going to get more money doing that than
Mhm.
than what we were doing in the past with skins and stuff like that, which is, I don't know, even I don't even know, like I mean, there's a difference between miscommunication and then just the fact that you're just doing that you're that close-minded off on, like, not thinking about looking at the brand at a global scale, and this is
Mhm.
where I think their failure is where it's coming at with Capcom.
Yeah, and I don't think this is anything to like, obviously we know they're two totally different teams. There's no
Mhm.
communication there.
Mhm.
So hopefully they're able to sort this out and like at least find a better way to move forward.
Yeah.
It's like I do feel for them because, they obviously are very stressed about it, but it's like, okay, like the esports team making the decisions, it doesn't feel like they're really tapped into like the global scene, especially with how the tour is set up now. So it would be nice to see like a little bit of more communication between those two teams, and I'm hoping that that's the result of this.
Oh yeah. Look, I just hope they do kind of find a way to kind of make everyone somewhat happy. What'd you say, Tony? Tony says, yeah, some corps just want more money and can't care less of the fan base of what made those games great and loved by seeing these live events. You know, it's weird for me, like, to even, like, I mean, yes, I mean, EA is basically born in that world. I mean, that's just how it is, what it is when it comes to it. But when it comes to Capcom, I think it's just it's a little bit of both, but I don't know if the right people in those corporations are, like, even though they're not speaking to each other, I don't think that they're not looking at a bigger picture. I mean, this is looking at this as an objective way. I don't know if they what they're thinking or why they're thinking or justified. They don't have to answer the reason for the public, quite frankly. But I think that, like, a brand like Street Fighter at this point in time, especially when you see, I think what they are seeing is that they are seeing the short-term goal of, like, saying, dear Lord, it is exploding in Japan. Like, because like I said, the views that that people are getting, like streamers in Japan, they're streaming Street Fighter is, like, abnormally large right now. And they're just seeing that, and then that's what they're pushing their decision for. But it's tough. Like, it's tough for me to think that that's what because in the past, Capcom's never been this restrictive, I would say,
with
when
esports.
No. Yeah. So that's why it feels weird. It feels really out of nowhere, out of character for them, way out of character for it, because they really do care about their IPs.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So I don't know. It's very interesting. So it's really hard to say. But yeah, well, let's hope we hear something different. Hopefully they're not gonna go and pursue what they're planning on doing, and go from there. Smitty, I'd say if you can do me a favor and let me borrow 6,000 yen, and then I'll be I mean, you just got promoted.
I'll get right on top of that.
Oh man. Okay. But no, really good topics though. But last topic is the last one, like I said, major news. The beginning of the week, out of all of the stuff that's happened the week, this is the smallest out of it. That EA has been bought by a small investment group. Now, I think this is more of a buyout, because I believe EA is a public investment invested, right? So they must have bought enough shares to say, we're going to buy you out for this to happen. So the amount that EA got or sold, and this is to the primary owner of this of this acquisition is the company was PIF, which is owned by it's a Saudi group. That it's the public investment fund that Saudis use to invest out. So they sold to this fund for $55 billion. Now, the way that this is going to work is going to be really, really crazy, because, mind you, like I said, they're the majority holder. The second holder of this, is Jared Kushner. It's his portfolio group that he invests in, and I forgot the name of the third group. But the whole craziness of this is going to be crazy. Now, because of the way that this is being bought out, EA is getting pushed that they owe $20 billion in debt because of this buyout, and this is going to be a giant mess on trying to reacquire this stuff. So you know what this means to me when I heard about this? First off, EA is already they've been kind of dead to me for a long time. They had small sparks with, like, the Dragon Age. I love the new Dragon Age and stuff, but things like BioWare is probably going to be gone. There's no way. I just don't see how BioWare is going to survive this in any way. Studios are going to be shut down. Their main goal is that they're wanting to incorporate AI as part of their process of creating games. So there's going to be a lot of layoffs going to be happening. I mean, I just think I don't see a lot of good things are coming out of all of this, but at the same time, I'm just like, you know what? Sure. What's going to happen? We're going to see Madden 2000, another Madden, another FC 20 something. We're going to be showing. There's not going to be. I think they're going to be limited when it comes to newer games and things that are going to be outside the box. So I mean, I don't know what's going to end up. What's going to how this is going to be. At first, I was just like, wow, well. Looks like Saudi. When I first initially saw this, I saw that Saudi Arabia is definitely pushing their games to be the leading city country for gaming at this point with like EWC and all these different kinds of things that they're trying to do. They're building a gaming city over there in Saudi Arabia. It's just crazy, like what they're trying to do. But like I was like, so the least of the thing that I would have thought was to say that EA is going to be bought by these groups. And I don't even know what to say about this. I don't even have a way to even react on it. So I kind of want to get y'all's opinions. What y'all think? What do y'all think about this buyout?
I have a lot to say. If you have been watching the Game Cast for the last, I don't know, year and a half or so, you've heard me talk about the PIF, this Saudi public investment fund. Mm-hmm. They announced here, I think it was a couple years ago, that they were going to be investing $150 billion into the video game sector. Here's where it's scary to me. The influence that this investment fund has been crazy. We've seen it make and break people. Hint, hint, the Embracer Group. They are struggling right now because an investment fell through with the PIF. I don't know what it was, what they had planned, but remember, it was a multi-billion-dollar investment that fell through at the last minute. Then all of a sudden, they just started shedding companies, and Embracer Group is a shadow of what it used to be. We just watched them buy Niantic with Savvy Games. Savvy Games is owned by the PIF, mind you. Okay. We talked about, you said the esports World Cup. The amount of influence that they have in the video game sector is scary. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it means. Like you said, there's definitely going to be jobs lost, studios shut down or sold off, whatever. And you know what? The writings have been on the wall. EA not too long ago had made a statement about, we're not going to sell off this and that, but we knew that things were rocky and have been turbulent. They've been waiting for somebody to bail them out. Mm-hmm. They knew, and they've been known that they've been struggling. They needed somebody to bail them out. So, this has probably been in the works here for a while. We're just getting the information now. Of course, nothing is set in stone yet. This is obviously subject to government scrutiny, so we'll see what the government says. Obviously, there's not a ton of regulations necessarily within the sector. However, when it comes to business percentages and the amount, and monopolies and things like that, I'm sure there's going to be talks of that stuff. But I don't know or really see a reason why this would get stopped. Mm-hmm. Again, you had mentioned Silver Lake. They've got a ton. Their investment firm, they're global and whatnot. And then Affinity Partners, like you said, is heavily is owned by Jared Kushner, and they've got a bunch of investments in the gaming sector and technology and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, big win for investors on this. And is
it really a big win? Because I don't know. That's a lot.
I don't know how that works with the debt, because I know that they sold off at what, $200, I think it was like $210 a share. Mm-hmm. So if you had invested in EA, I mean, you probably walked away with some money. How the $20 billion in debt works, that I don't understand how that works.
I'll find the breakdown.
Yeah, per se. But dude, this is just, I mean, again, I feel like the writings have been on the wall, but more importantly, I mean, dude, if you're not looking at this Saudi PIF, and again, I don't want to go too much into it and whatnot, but we've been seeing it over the years, and they're saying it as kind of like sports washing, kind of, because we know that there's a lot of human rights issues and things like that over there. And again, this happens in a bunch of companies, so I don't want to just say, specifically them. But it's just weird. It's not weird. It's just the amount of money and pull that they have in the sector, and especially with a company like that. And then you're talking about, AI and Niantic with all their, real time, geographical data that they've gotten, on the back end, I imagine, from a Pokemon Go and things of that nature. Like, I don't know, man. Keep your eyes on it. I don't want to put on the tinfoil hat, but it's definitely something that I personally, when they first announced it, I was like, dude, this is absolutely huge. So it's something that I'm continuing to monitor as they make moves and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I definitely think it's something to just kind of like, I don't want to say wait and see, but I'm curiously watching it unfold myself. Like with the fighting games involvement in like esports World Cup and stuff. I do think it's a great production. But there has been a lot of conversation and debate around that, just like the esports World Cup in general. It's like so much money. It's an insane amount of money. So I don't really blame anyone for, I'm gonna go compete in that. Like even if I get, eighth or whatever, I still get a pretty good payout, right?
Right.
It is really interesting to watch, and I'm reserving how I feel until like I feel as though there's I don't know. It is unique, right? Because it's like we don't know how this is going to end up. We don't know what this is going to like the end result will be. But it is very, I don't want to say concerning, but it's just like wow, there's a lot of investment in a very short time in this very like niche industry. Is how it feels to me.
Well, look at it this way though too, because like also Piff now owns Evo.
So
that's
right.
Another
That's
one.
right.
So like
you think about
that's
that.
another one too. So it's like it's concerning because like how this like literally Saudi Arabia is basically kind of, I mean, we knew Saudi was already powerful as it is, but now when they decided to say we're going to invest in the video game deal with everything, then that's not even considering like, I mean, obviously the values and things will change, will naturally go to whatever their push is going to be. So we're going to be seeing a giant change of like how games are going to be like, interpreted, especially from how like, art from some of these studios like what like EA and stuff. Like I don't know if we're going to be seeing the same kind of stuff can you imagine like a Dragon Age game being made from a Saudi funded thing? Some of the stuff that was in that game would not fly, in my opinion.
Right.
In my opinion. So we'll see. We'll see how that's going to be. But then I was looking this up, and then the way it works is that because of the kind of buyout that this is, I didn't even know. Scatpack Gaming says they own Uber. I did not know that. That is crazy.
That's insane. I did not know that either.
But
that is insanity.
Yeah, they're saying because of the way that this buyout is, because it's a leveraged buyout funded by private equity. So they're saying that the transaction will be funded by a combination of the cash from each of the PIF, Silver Lake, and Affinity partners, as well as the rollover PIF's existing stake in EA. So they already owned a certain
they
percentage
had about
of
10%.
Yeah, which they did, constituting an equity investment of approximately $36 billion. So they will pay $36 billion. The difference is the 55 is the 20 billion that EA already has that they owe. So essentially EA owes $20 billion to JP Morgan Chase Bank of that. So because it's going private, that means that EA is on the hook for that, not the investors directly.
Right.
And so they're saying that what's immediately paid back is going to be is $18 billion, which is expected to be funded at close. So unless EA has some ridiculous amount of money on the back end side, I don't know how they're going to do it, but we're going to see. They're probably going to squeeze a lot more microtransactions. Like probably going to say, they're going to be saying, you know what, that Xbox Cloud Gaming 5-hour deal doesn't sound half bad anymore. That's what's going to end up happening. I don't know. On Battlefield 6, I don't know what's going to end up happening, but it is,
shenanigans.
Yeah, it is going to be, it's unforeseen territory. We don't know. I guess what it is that we don't know what this means is what is the biggest issue. Yeah. So like we know, like, I mean, we like, for instance, we're still on the early games of Niantic getting bought out, so we don't know how any of that's going to go, how any of that's going to work. And I have friends that work at Niantic, and they're saying that they're fine right now, but they don't know what they're expecting. But they're saying that they're treating it like every day. But we, like, as you know, when these things happen, we got to wait a year, maybe 2 years, and see where this is going to go. So yeah, I don't know what's in store with EA, but I just think on the face level, I'm going to see massive layoffs, especially the amount of money they don't. When you spend this kind of cash, there's no room for error. They're going to skim as much as they possibly going to skim until they're going to acquire that money right back and then some. So we're going to see studio closures. We're definitely going to be seeing a ton of different kinds of layoffs. We're going to see a lot of cancellations of games that we don't think it's going to be wasting their time. They're going to be focusing on stuff that will give them the maximum amount of money, which is going to be Madden, FC, and the FC series, and some other stuff. So we probably won't see any of these crazy Dead Space remakes, or no more Mass Effects. Dragon Age is probably going to be or something gone at this point that under the EA title. I won't be surprised if what if, and this is like tinfoil hat, what if BioWare gets sold off to a different company? That's a good possibility. That we'll probably see it in a different kind of tone. So so anyways, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's scary, but this is where we're at. This is where we're at.
2027 is the expected date for this deal to go through. Mm-hmm. So I imagine, it will be business as usual, but again, it'll be interesting to see if they make some aggressive monetization moves to try to be able to pay off that debt there.
So basically EA being EA at that point. I mean, business as usual. Essentially. Yeah. This is getting crazy. This is turning into a real gaming monopoly. I wouldn't say it's a monopoly quite yet, because I mean, if anything, because it's not, the PIF isn't the problem. The problem is the PIF is the problem of where it's coming from. That's what it is. But when it comes to studios and stuff, the PIF really doesn't own a lot of studio sway yet, but they can, which is going to be the worrying factor. If anything, more of a monopoly, I would say Microsoft has a bigger monopoly than more studios and all this stuff. So and I feel like if Microsoft goes the path that they're going, I will not be surprised if some of these big studios that are getting these Bethesda would probably just get destroyed with all these different kinds of stuff. And then you got Activision Blizzard and stuff just alone that that's all being the entity of just one company is not good. They should have said no to this merger. I would have said no to this merger a long time ago. It's just some other group. But anyways, I digress. But anyways, we need some sort of level of good news, man. This has been a bummed out week. What do you have anything, Virginia? What do you got?
Yeah, so actually, on last Monday, I got to speak with a wonderful, awesome fighting game player named Legion. You guys have probably seen her story all over social media if you follow fighting games at all, even if you don't. She had her baby, I want to say, on September 27th. Just kidding. She had it on September 22nd, not 27th. So she had her daughter Cereza, named after Bayonetta, of course.
That's awesome.
I know, it's so cute. She had her by C-section, and it was a very complicated delivery because she had what is called a uterine window, which basically means your uterus is so thin that it's transparent. So you can actually see the baby inside. And that happens because of previous C-sections. She did have a baby last year who did pass away after a few days. So this pregnancy was very wanted. It was very, how do I say, it was a risky pregnancy because of all these complications. But baby born healthy, baby Cereza is here. 5 days later, after a C-section, she goes to her local fighting game tournament and she wins Mortal Kombat. I think it was Mortal Kombat 11 XL.
Oh my
God. Crazy. I can't imagine. I think we were talking about this earlier. I couldn't imagine after such a major surgery and after such a crazy, I had a baby and I also had surgery, going to a local, and not only that, she was playing with her baby in her arms.
The baby was there. The baby was there.
Fatality. So cute. And just a really heartwarming story. Some people online were like, wow, the grand prize was only $28, but she also won tickets to go to DreamHack Atlanta with her husband.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it was a very, very, very cool story. Really awesome, story about, perseverance and pushing through. And I, as I said, I think she's built different. She clearly is built different.
Yeah. That girl is definitely RoboCop.
She literally is. On Twitter, she wrote, so glad that we left the house and did this. Our daughter's so chill around noise and car rides, possibly because I traveled so much while I was pregnant. I never want to stop doing things that I love. I just need to adjust my life accordingly for our younger daughter. I just want people to feel like no matter what, they can do things they still love, even if it's in small chunks. She also wanted to highlight, how very serious pregnancy and childbirth is. And she also wanted to highlight, I think it's called NORD, and it is the National Organization for Rare Diseases, because her first child did pass away because of a rare condition. She had like a tumor. It was just a very interesting disease or condition, and so she donated her baby's like medical records to NORD to help do more research so that we can find cures for things like this. So if you guys are interested, please go donate to NORD if you can. It's on my Twitter, it's on her Twitter. Really, really good organization. They're doing a lot of really cool stuff, but also just like a really heartwarming story, to go to your local 5 days after giving birth with your child and do something that you love. Just because you're a parent doesn't mean that your own life stops. You just have to adjust accordingly. And again, she's a boss. Like, I could not imagine doing something like that. So congrats to her. Congrats on the new baby. And that was my happiness for the week. It was so good talking to her. And I think even because it went pretty viral online. And
Is she California? Is she from California?
No, I think she's in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
her story went so viral that the Canadian Broadcasting Network reached out to me and they were like, "Hey, can you get her in touch with us because we want to do a story about her on our network?"
Wow.
And so yeah, like it's just such
That's
a positive story from the community, and I really love stuff like that because that just goes to show this is the FGC is so great, and it's just such a wonderful place to be, and place to have a place in the community. And her Cereza's already part of the community. She already won her first tournament. She's only 5 days old. Come on.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So wild. She is such a beast.
I know.
She is such a beast, and I say that in the most endearing way.
Yeah.
Because that is, and you're right too. I love, what she said, because as a parent, it is tough to juggle, being a parent and taking care of your kids' needs, but also making sure that you're taking care of your needs and being able to do things that you enjoy and that are fun to you, or be able to unwind or still be competitive. I love that for her. I think that it's so inspiring to be able to see that. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like how, like, and the baby's there. Like, I'm going to go ahead and win this tournament real quick. Come on, baby, let's go do this.
Exactly.
The baby, literally good luck charm in itself. I'm just surprised with just the power, just the fact that she was able to just say, you know what? Because I mean, the C-section, like, I don't know if no one knows, but like when you have a C-section, I mean, they're obviously getting your stomach. Your stomach is your core, and then when you take off, when you cut your core like that, and the way you have to take a baby out from your from there, your stomach is incredibly weak. So that means that your core itself is incredibly weak. So any kind of movement is painful, tough, and very difficult. And to say that her husband and her decided to say, you know what, we can't be late on our first local tournament to go for this thing, and then they decided to go in the car, bring the baby along, and it's like, okay, we're gonna be. It's like in her arms. There was a photo literally of her in her arms while with the controller. Unbelievable. Yeah, she is definitely built different. That is that is so awesome to see. But no, good for her, dude. That's
moms are built different, dude.
No kidding.
Absolutely.
Especially the strength of that her, and just in general. I mean, from everything that's happened to her, and then just to do that is just wow. It's unbelievable.
Definitely resilient as hell. Like yeah.
Yeah, so much.
Love it.
Hey,
great story.
Virginia. So where why don't you tell us where folks can go check you out and see you again?
Yeah, so I'm really active on Twitter. You can find me at Dexerto Virginia. Same handle over on Instagram. That's where all my cosplay stuff goes. That's where all my fitness and Muay Thai content goes. So if you want to see me punch stuff, you want to see me, dressing up like a crazy character, that's where I will be.
Yeah. I missed you dressed up as your Manon at Evo. I was like, oh, I didn't know you dressed up, you cosplay as Manon at Evo. That like, I don't know how I missed that. That's actually cool.
It was so funny. I had a lot of people say that. They're like, oh, I saw you, but I didn't know it was you because you looked so different. And I'm like, yeah, the pink wig will throw anybody off.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Did you have the glasses too?
Yes.
Oh, you did? Oh, so I might have.
Yeah.
I just didn't know it was you.
Yeah.
So it's very possible.
Yeah, I know there's a pretty it's like a regional tournament happening in SoCal on November 8th. I will be Manon there as well in her alt one. So
very
if you want to
awesome.
swing by, I'll be there.
Very awesome. Well,
Yeah.
hey, I'm glad you were able to come and geek out with us here. It was really cool talking with you.
Thanks so much for having me. It was such a good time.
Yeah, thank you. And folks, thank you for listening to episode number 280 of the CFG Game Cast. Thank you for being a part of the conversation as always. We will be back again next week with a whole new series of different topics. So there is, if you did miss out on this episode, that is perfectly all right. We do release on all podcast services tomorrow, each and every week. So there is absolutely no reason to miss out on our sexy voices. Ooh. Guys, also be sure to go check out Smitty's article about the Victrix Pro Control BFG controller on our website conferencegeeks.com. But we will always be out there checking some also new content as always. So once again, this is Davis, Virginia, and Smitty signing out. Y'all take it easy.